obviously you started working around the homelessness aspect, but then as you were talking about, not wanting to just focus there, you had these other aspirations of focusing on human trafficking and climate change, racial justice, education. Mm-hmm. How do you balance trying to accomplish all you want in the world without taking on too much that now you're not accomplishing anything or just running yourself into the ground?
Yeah. So I think it's self-care, and not like, not in a fake way. Like, here's how I've made it work for me. And this is like massive privilege, right? We've lucked out of the gate with me and Joe and I co-founded the Billions Institute together. And we've never been, there've been a couple times where I've been like, kind of like biting my nails about revenue coming in, but we've been busy. Like there is a genuine need, and we've been able to sort it out to where we've had a profitable business every year. But the pandemic, the first year of the pandemic was a gut punch, right? But that was true for everybody.
But you do a lot of in-person events, and that's why that had such a large strain on your business.
100% of our revenue on March 13th, 2020 was from live in-person events. So we had to pivot hard. But so how I've done it for me and my team, I just try to be human-centered and people-centered. And we've had the luxury of maybe, and this is maybe a bad thing, of not having to be super scrappy. This could be our downfall, right? Like we're busy and we're doing things, but we can pace ourselves. So for me personally, it works really well because we've got an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old, and I want to be there for their childhood. But all of these really intensive kind of bursts of 3 weeks in a row in the UK training the National Health Service, but we're generating a lot of our revenue in that really intensive work. And then I'm home for 2 months with, and do stuff. Somehow my calendar just fills up every day, but not necessarily with revenue generating things and so for me, it's almost like, I don't know, it's like a snake eating a gopher or something. There's these just big chunks of work where I'm like all in, and then I go into like goof off mode and just like let that not be the most important thing. That was really hard to do during the pandemic, though, to have like that super intense burst and then spaciousness, which is where the creativity comes from of the next thing for me. Like, okay, I'm going to be productive, and then I'm going to be really creative and spacious. It was really hard during the pandemic because we had our kids at home, and my wife and I were both owned or executive directors of businesses. And I had the kids in the afternoons while she worked, and she had the kids in the mornings while I worked. So, our work days got cut in half, and there was just, everybody had to figure that out. Right. But that I wasn't able to do the bursts of work and the spaciousness for, about 18 months, but the rest of the time that works for me.
And I can only imagine that having 2 kids, you said 6 and 8, like that. Is there a balance that you now try to have with the children and still trying to run these businesses? And or if you're not necessarily balancing, is there a guilt there of like not feeling like you're able to be fully present with them because there's so much else going on?
Yeah, here's what we figured out. So basically what we figured out during the pandemic was like, even though we weren't profitable that one year, we did kind of figure it out to where I was working 4 hours a day. So I got more efficient and was able to focus on the more important things, right? And so now the kids are back in school from 8 to 2, and like poof, all of a sudden I have 2 more hours that I didn't have, And so, so I've expanded to where my intention is to get what I need to get done to be of service in the world and keep the business running and in a way that's of service and functional, but while the kids are in school. So, and now we have the after school stuff. So it just kind of like, like capitalism and productivity kind of sneaks in, And so I'm like, sometimes I do the walk of shame and I'm the last one to pick them up. But most days I pick up the kids around 4:30 and then I'm done. And I feel great about that. And then they have my full attention. Like I'm not distracted. I'm not trying to get things done. And this is the other thing I want to share. When you own a small business as an entrepreneur, you're not salaried, which is a blessing and a curse, right? Because when you're salaried, it's just like, hey, you do what you do and you get what you get. But when it's your own business and when you're the business owner, make it, take it. Like I can do more and I can make more money. And yes, I want to distribute that to the employees as well. But my wife and I do this practice where like at the end of every year, we say, for the next year, how much money is plenty of money for everything we need and want to do next year? And then we put a number to it, and we know her salary. So then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go make the difference. Right. But last year I asked her, because she manages the money. I'm terrible with this stuff. I asked her, I get an allowance and I still blow it. So, and last year I asked her, how little money can I make and we're still all right? And, she gave me a number, and it was like half of what I used to be doing. And so I've calibrated my business now to almost like min specs. You know what I mean? Like because I want to optimize for other things, because it can just take it. There's something about it where there's just this sort of more is better in the air that I feel like I have to actively guard against and work against.
Well, and I think I know I kind of went through that too, in terms of like just trying to just kind of restructure my life to be able to do all the things that I want to do. And I think, one of the things that you have in your book, and I haven't had a chance to fully read it, but just in everything that I was reading in terms of like the feedback on it and the work that you're doing in there really is around teaching others to do what you've done in terms of maybe working 4-hour days so you can really enjoy life. And that will re-energize you for the work that you're going to do and probably make you better in business. Can you talk a little about like what led you to creating this book, Impact with Integrity, Repair the World Without Breaking Yourself, and what maybe that has done for you or for others that have been able to learn from that?
Yeah. So I set out back in 2019, early 2019, to write a book about our model for unleashing the way we teach how to do large scale change. We define success as orchestrating the loss of control of thousands of people you'll never meet, moving in the right direction. And I was like, I'm going to write a book about the model for unleashing. And I got like a month or two into the project, and I was like, that's not the book that wants to be written right now. Like, I want to write a book about not about the design part. I want to write a book about the leadership part, because that's what I'm really passionate about. And if I'm going to be talking about things on, like I want to be talking about things I'm like really, 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 really most passionate about. I still want to write the Unleashing book. That's next. But I've done so many executive coaching sessions with social change leaders, nonprofit executives, senior project directors, and seen again and again and again the ways that we get in our own way, and done it myself, that I wanted to like give this gift to people of you don't have to hire me as your coach. Like, you can just read this book, and this is what I would have told you as a coach, of to do these things, and to just kind of capture in one place the things that I found myself again and again and again and again helping people with. I got it all in one place. I feel really by the way, I needed a lot of help to get it done, but I'm very grateful for the help, and I feel really, really happy that it's out there. It feels like a little bird flew from the nest, it's its own thing now.
Well, I'm looking forward to reading that. And what I was kind of mentioning before, like I was kind of restructuring my life and I kind of forgot where I was trying to go with that. But I just want to return to that, where you were talking about just taking a pay cut to essentially allow the business to do more, but at the same time still allow you to live. But I think another way you can do that, like if you have hobbies. So for myself, like I love taking photography, like I love doing photography. And so now I will sell through Getty or Shutterstock, or, even trying to put up my own website. Now that can be passive income that will make me money. So I now can make less money through the business, or I'll do podcasting courses and make money through that. So again, I can pay myself less money through the company, and now that money can go more towards the employees or more towards creating what I want to create. So there's multiple ways to kind of restructure your own pay so that's not all coming out of the business.
I love those ideas. Have you ever heard that saying? You need to make money while you sleep because you sleep a lot. Like that. Like that's the dream, right? Passive income.